Hey guys, Red here, and today I'm bringing back old Danny Boy. Today's video for Ghostface is all about keeping up pressure, and the build we're going to use for that is going to be Sloppy Butcher, the Nav Phobia, Nurse's Calling, and Hex Ruin. Keeping survivors injured and catching them off guard when they're healing is the whole point of this build, and it's executed perfectly with Ghostface with his ability to enter stealth. I find a wandering Jane pretty quickly into this match, and since I see she has noticed me but hasn't started running yet, I know that she must have sprint burst. Short-sighted loops like these are only good for one run overall and can be mind gameable, so if the survivor doesn't throw the pallet early or on the first go, it normally ends up being a free hit. Also, if you do get hit as a survivor, don't stay in the same loop, especially if it's not a safe loop. I remember hearing crows a moment ago, so instead of the pickup, it's best to keep the pressure going by slugging and checking the gen. I'm always keeping in mind what the survivors are going to try and do next, and since Kay had ran away as soon as I arrived, it's obvious her route's going to be to the slug Jane. I can use this to my advantage and keep a timer in my head of when to go back to the slug to get the most value from it and potentially snowball the pressure. Bill's pallet timing works dividends for me as he times it so late the stun actually puts me on the other side of the pallet. This is great as now I have traded slugs and can look to down Jane again. With two survivors down and everyone injured, I have taken my early down and generated a ton of pressure off of it alone. This is why it's crucial to get the most out of your downs and slugs as you can. Sometimes hooking right away is fine, but if you have an inclination that there might be nearby survivors, you can really throw the survivor's game on its heels by just taking a few extra seconds. This is actually a mistake. If you're looking to snowball hard, the right play would have been to turn back to the K who had just saved Bill to guarantee myself another down. Maybe it was Jane's thick thighs that kept my eyes, but it was not the correct call in this scenario. I personally enjoy being flashlighted while breaking a pallet, as it means the survivor is standing still and not covering a ton of distance. If you're being blinded and the survivor doesn't have Iron Will, it should be pretty easy to follow them with sound alone. Just like last time, I hear a gen and suspect survivors, so I leave Jane and Slug to investigate. While I can respect not throwing Shack Pallet, to think I would fall for this is just insulting. Don't worry, I'm sure in a future video I'll totally fall for it and have to eat my words. But today, Kate gets punished for questioning my intelligence. You can tell as killer if you're pressuring survivors really well, if gens aren't getting done as fast, or survivors are constantly trying to save each other, or even them having to heal up a ton. This slows the game down and allows for a killer to control the momentum of the game. I will never understand survivors that do this. There's literally a pallet right near her, but she wants that blind. Well, she can have it and lay down for a while. I can't pick her up because I'm pretty positive she has DS. I can hear Bill, but for the life of me, I'm feeling quite blind at the moment, and also doesn't help the game states I've seen him and starts chase music. Always remember, it's not missing, it's asserting dominance. Well, after that embarrassing blind gameplay, I make sure to call it a day on the slugs and go hook Bill. I notice that Jane has been picked up and feel pretty good about 5 gens still being up, and then after the gen pops, I realize that Jane has used her Unbreakable, and then I want to keep that in mind for late game just in case. Slugging here wouldn't be a bad call, as from studying these survivors, they seem to be the type to heal under the hook. But since I have a hook real close and they are a distance out, it's best to go ahead and get Bill to stage 2 on the hook. When using Ghostface's stealth, make sure to conceal yourself as much as possible. This map is really great for Ghostface as there are a lot of line of sight breakers scattered throughout the map. Using the hill, I'm able to catch Bill and Jane off guard completely with a nice death from above. This cycle of always having to save a survivor means that it's almost impossible for them to actually sit down on Jen. This is how to snowball a game with pressure alone. From the survivor side, what they should do at this point in the game is just ignore healing and being a little less altruistic. Too much altruism can really snowball a game to the killer. Keep in mind, both stage 1 and stage 2 of being hooked takes 60 seconds to proceed to the next stage. One can get a lot done in 30 or 45 seconds before going for a save. It's most likely that she's in the locker since I can hear the cries of pain. Also, she could be under me at the moment, but most likely has DS still. That and the track marks from both the survivors being here make it a little hard for me to tell for sure. While normally going back to the hooks can be more of a hindrance in terms of pressure, I can assume Bill ran there from the dock and at least 3 survivors are there attempting to heal. Bill is a hero here, and that allows Jane to run to a locker. I make sure to act like I'm going for Jane still before branching off for the other Bill, especially since there are no available loops in this area. I'm feeling spicy and want to assert some more dominance by intentionally opening the wrong locker and shaking my head to let her know she's next. She gives my back some warmth with her light, which I greatly approve and want to give her a high five for showing me how flashlights work. She agrees, but then headbutts my knife instead. Since Jane clearly didn't want to be hooked, I go ahead and let her sleep on the ground for a bit. Games against survivors who like to stay healthy are perfect for this build on Ghostface and just really allows you to always stay busy. That, and it's always satisfying to spook survivors when you suddenly appear. Coming from angles like this allows me to see both possible routes away from the hook. This is also a great thing to do when patrolling the gens. I saw Kate, but since Bill is still injured, I want to go ahead and slug him before seeing if Kate decided to keep hiding around. Sneaky gamers get the knife to the back and will never be allowed to hatch. I have seen very few stealthy survivors who are also great at looping. There are some out there, but it's rare. Most of the time if they're hiding it's because they don't want to or don't like being chased. The ones to watch out for are typically the ones who will literally just follow you around all game just to get your attention so they can proceed to loop you. I respect the balls to the wall in that playstyle, unless of course you're running Object of Obsession, because fuck that perk. I know I said this earlier, but when dealing with blinds, literally just walk towards the sounds of pain while looking up. You'll close quite a bit of distance and quite fast. By the way, I totally couldn't find Bill after this, so he kinda just bled out, and that's my bad, man. But this is it for the gameplay, and originally I thought about making it a rank 1 mindset video, but this gameplay is a much better representation of just how to keep pressure snowballing, and how it can affect Survivor's gameplay as well. Now, don't fret though, there will be a future rank 1 mindset for Ghostface. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. We're almost at the big 1,000 subs, and I'm super grateful for all the support I've had from everybody. And since we are getting close to the 1,000 mark, I would love to do a special video for the occasion, so if you have any ideas, let me know down below. I hope you snowball your games as Ghostface, and as always, I'm Red, and I'm signing off.